So I'm using Ava's design because she has a very nice model made. Here's her image that she generated off of AI. And this is her model. And you see, I tried to take the photo as close as possible to the same kind of view. I didn't quite get it, but I got it pretty close. So I want you to stick your phone down into your model and take a photo, making sure there's at least one person in there. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a piece of trace over this. And I'm actually just going to I'm just going to lightly tape it down so it doesn't shift too much while I'm messing with it. And basically what we want to do is we want to make a drawing of that space by tracing the photo. So I'm going to start by coming and getting that ceiling. And I didn't get it in my photograph, but I'm going to approximate it so I can sort of get a sense of where that is. And we've got this inner ring here. And something that, and so, well, we'll stop there with that. Let's get our columns. If you have any weirdnesses in your drawing or in your model, like that column's a little wonky, you can fix that in your drawing. I have my entry desk. Go. This big column over here. And you see how quickly I'm moving. So here's my person standing behind my desk. There we go. See how quickly I'm moving. I'm just trying to capture what's salient here. There we go. Now, you see how she's got these kind of plants here, and we've got some chairs there. Chairs are tough. Adding furniture in is tough, especially if you aren't looking at them. But that's why we're actually going to do it like this. I'm actually going to pull some small pieces off, and I'm going to try and add in a few details. So like we've got a plant here. And we've got another plant over here. We've got, pardon me, I've got something in my throat. Got a little chair right here. That chair probably too big, isn't it? Needs to be lower down. That helps a little bit. Because again, if my person is here and that's my entry desk, I want to make sure that the chair is not out of scale to that, right? Just for funsies, I'm going to put another plant, one more little plant right over here. And then her drawing has this kind of ornament up here. So I am going to add that in as well. I'm going to just try and give myself an indication of that kind of flower, skylighty kind of thing within that, right? And then the last step, we're going to pull one more sheet and we're going to bring all of that up through into a quick but finished sketch. All right. So for example, I'm going to pull this roundness in the ceiling up. And I'm going to pull this up. But then because this is a skylight, I'm actually going to hatch this, I think, to kind of emphasize the fact that that that's lighter. I can pull my little planty plants up. And my chair, I can do this because and I'm gonna make that chair a little bit smaller. I think it was I drew it too big initially. And you see how I'm being sketchy, but I'm still being specific. You still know what it is that I'm drawing. And then I'm going to I'm gonna get my mullions in. And now I am gonna give them like a bottom. At top. That's beyond, the outside is beyond. I am gonna actually drop a person in the foreground, I think, just to help establish it. And then think about your lighting. So for example, here's my counter, but the light is all behind. Oh, whoops, careful. The light is all behind, right? So the front of my counter is going to be in shadow a little bit. And my chair is going to cast a shadow this way. And you remember how we put, the horizon line is where people's eyes are, so I can draw that horizon line across. And then I can put somebody in the foreground here. Because they're so close, I'm gonna just make them into me. Why not? And then I can bring these, that. And our big column like this. All right, and I think I've got everything in there. So now what I want to do is I want to pull everything else up. So that I'm just looking at my sketch on a white surface so I can really see it. So I've got everything in there. Now remember, we use darker lines to come forward. So I'm going to make this darker. Oh, I didn't put my person in there, did I? Let's get that person back there. Good. I'm going to actually bring a floor down here, even though that's a little bit of a lie. I want to give the sense that this is a space. I might at this point come in and pull those out just to make that a little more readable, right? Let's see, I'm gonna give myself some shading on here and some shading here. Inside too, let's plant that down in there. So this is where you can then come back in, fix anything that looks really egregious. But you can see that we're starting to get the sense of this. And when I look at that and I look at this, I can say, okay, that's nominally the same space at least. All right. You can finish your sketch out a little more than this. This is maybe just a touch too sketchy. I'm trying to do this quickly and get it to you tonight before the president comes and we can't get into the building. But I think this gives you the sense of what I want us to do. Now, for some of you, your model is not going to look like this. And so I want you to choose the view that is as close as possible. to the model that you built. And then, of course, in the bottom. Name and date as always, never without that. And that's the deal.